everybody, welcome back. Got an Envoy video for you. This one's going to be specifically for Yolana Belova and Red Guardian. Going to look at their kits, going to look at their stats. Assuming that they're 25% Stark Tech, we didn't get that information. If it's wrong, this should be the max of where they're at in the stat chart, but we'll see. That stuff's always kind of wonky when we get it through Envoy videos, but hopefully it's fine. It gives you a close indication. They seem pretty solid. So do another video about the new team that they're going to be on. That'll be separate, but this one I wanted to focus on just the characters, just the kits, get you through that one, and then you can check out the other team kind of all together. All right? Because it might be a decent counter for a troublesome team. All right, so let's get into the characters.
Bring me WolverThor!
All right, our first character we're looking at, Yolana Belova. I've got it up on the screen here. You should be able to see some of the stuff I'm going to read off. So I'm not going to necessarily super go word for word, but since it is the first time, I'll do a little bit of that. But also try to give some commentary. I've also highlighted some of the items on here that I thought really stuck out to me a bit, where I could see these playing some critical roles in her abilities. But obviously I didn't highlight everything because then the whole thing would be highlighted. But it's just the quick like, oh, I like that. All right, so Yolana, her traits are Hero, Global, Skill, Blaster, Military. That Global Skill may be thinking about, depending how she synergizes with some other characters, might make you think about some Dark Dimension 4. We'll see. Her basic, called Widow Strike, attack primary target for 250% damage, gain an assist from a random military skill or Black Widow ally. So it's got some Black Widow synergy there, which is nice. If this character or any ally has stealth, transfer 2 positive effects, excluding taunt, on primary target to stealth. So it's kind of, that's, Black Widow-esque there. So it's not all that, different there, except for, you've got the nice gain the assist, which is awesome. Also, the video that you've got, you'll just see kind of her roster and her kit, where you're going to see kind of the increases kind of go through there. So I'll throw myself, just so in case you really, really want to see some of that stuff, I'll throw myself on the other side. All right, so her special, which, is the likely first ability you're going to use. And we'll talk about how quick that goes with some other stuff as you're going to see with Red Guardian's kit, which how quickly she can do this. It's called Going Dark. Energy cost 4 out of 4. Transfer 1 positive effect, excluding taunt. So you'll see a lot of the transfer positive effects with her and this team, which we get to in another video. Excluding taunt from primary target to self and all skill military allies. There's your team there. Skill military. Shout out to the to our folks at the OG podcast who have trademarked Skilletary. He's the first one who said it to me, though. I think there's a something Howell III who Thurman Howell III, I forget. You guys can Google it. With a music album that's already been out for that, so there might be some copyright lawsuits going on there. But regardless, Skilletary, OG podcast. So you get the positive transfer there. Attack primary target for 280% damage. And then the highlighted part there I've got is the apply disrupted for 2 turns. So that's going to be great for anybody who potentially taunts early, or somebody that's going to be pulling taunts or taunting if somebody drops below a certain percent HP. You put this on them and you don't have to worry about that taunt, assuming she goes first, which she will once I get to that in a little bit. Gain +2 stealth up to a maximum of 5, which also plays into some more of her kit. Her ultimate, which is Das Vidania, which is a 3 out of 5 energy cost here. So this is going to be coming after your second turn, or after your first turn goes. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 300% damage, plus clear all deflect. So if you're talking about something in war, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got all these deflects to worry about, she takes care of it. Problem is, she doesn't get to use it first turn. So it's kind of like, all right, well, whatever deflects are still lingering is really where this is going to come into play. So you might think of characters that give other characters deflects, and you're like, all right, well, she's going to clear them if they're sitting there with this ultimate Das Vidania. This attack has 50% extra crit chance, which is nice, so you get a crit there. This attack cannot be blocked. I couldn't help but think of Doc Ock every time I saw this, and I kept going, Doc Ock, can't block it, and it's clearing deflects. I really like that. So You know, there's deflects health with block. So decent ability there. You know, I still like the special a little bit better, but this definitely has its use. Her passive, which we'll talk about a little bit, Red Room Graduate, on offense up gains stealth. So whenever she's going to get offense up, she gets stealth. So, you know, I expect that when she transfers certain positive effects and it's an offense up, she will stealth herself. While she's stealth, gain 100% crit damage. So we talked about earlier that stealth playing into effect for some other stats. This is it. So when she's stealth, she gets some extra crit damage. Lower crit chance for all enemies by 25%. I think this is the first time that we've seen this in game where you've got a character lowering someone else's crit chances, damage, all that kind of thing. So I find that interesting. I have to admit, I typically don't pay a lot of attention to how much people are critting in game, except for certain characters who get abilities from it, you know, like specifically like raiders or something like that. But so this is interesting. I'll see how this plays into effect. This could you know, factor into some PvP things when you've got skirmishers and raiders and anything that's, you know, kind of something that's it's a crit based ability, or even, you know, a heal on crit, something along those lines. I highlighted here the lower the chance to assist on a non-attack ability for all enemies by 25% per skill military ally, up to a maximum of 100%. So again, this is a very new thing that's added to the game. So she's going to lower the chance to assist on non-attack abilities for enemies by 25% per skill military. So basically, she's going to have 4 of those. That means that they're not going to, she's going to somehow keep them from doing that. So you look at your Sabertooths, you look at your Mystiques. I'm hinting at foreshadowing a bit on another video, which you'll definitely want to watch for that. And then obviously your Punishers if they're on other teams. You know, those are your primary 3 that you typically talk about. But obviously there's some other ones. Is there other ones? I don't know. It's been a long day. Lots of work and running around. So, you know, anytime that comes up and any time in the future for any of those non-attack abilities, she's going to just say no. So I find that very interesting. I think it's a pretty cool dynamic. I highlighted it there. I'm assuming there's going to be a T4 situation there. It might have popped up, you know, just it was going dark. We'll maybe see it here in a second, actually, while we're sitting here talking, unless it's really slow. But, you know, you should be able to see some of the T4 stuff off to the side if you're really interested. And you can go back and pause that if you want to check it out. But Das Vidana, you can see it's extra 50% damage on primary, secondary, plus 30% extra crit. So that's a huge... the crit chance there, that's half of what it is. You know, that was a 50% crit chance increase per the write-up. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see kind of how that stuff all shakes out. But that's her kit. I like her a lot as a standalone character. We'll look at the stats after we go through the Red Guardian kit. So let's get into him now. So I have to admit, I really liked this character model a bit. Just... you know, seeing how he's portrayed in the MCU universe by the actor who plays him, it's almost like a perfect model from that. I just really liked it. And then when you see him in the videos that we'll play, whether it's in the intro or the outro, you get the sense that it's like they just looked at that character or that actor and said, you know what, we're just gonna model him and it's gonna be perfect. So anyway, I dig this. I liked it. So you've probably seen that portrait floating around on Discord. It's been out there for a while. So Red Guardian traits: Hero, Global, Skill, Protector, Military. So again, are you going to go Skill Global on this for DD4? I don't know. We'll see. Let's check it out. So basic, we've got Soviet Slam, attack primary target for 340% damage, chain up to 1 adjacent target for 280% damage, gain defense up. Feels very Captain America-esque in that regard, which obviously he's got a similarity in his character. In war, apply defense up to adjacent allies. And I'm just highlighting a lot of the defense up that you're going to find on this guy because you get it quite a bit. And then a 25% chance to gain an assist from a Yolana Belova ally. Now, I honestly, I think that's nice, but it's just kind of like okay, that might happen. But 25% is just so whatever. But it gives you a little something. It's better than nothing, I guess. Counterattacks, break this chain. Cool story. Hansel. And then special, we've got a 4 out of 4 and a quick sneak peek. The ultimate is also 5 out of 5. So you've got your choice of what you want to use first here. We'll talk about what we think that is in a second. So special is Iron Curtain. It's 4 out of 4. You clear 2 negative effects. If this character is above 50% health, you gain taunt. Otherwise, heal for 20% of this character's max health, which is great. So it's like, okay, if you're above 50%, you taunt. If you're not, you heal. So hopefully you might be able to do that in another turn, right? Apply defense up to self and all allies. All allies, which honestly, I like that for something when you're thinking about dark dimension type aspects or different game modes. It's not a team specific defense up. It's all allies. That's huge. The other stuff that's also with this is heal self and all allies for 20% of this character's max health. Again, a great ability to potentially bring yourself into dark dimension for anything really, because you're healing yourself and all allies. That's a fantastic ability. I'm looking at this and going, okay, wait a minute. So my Captain America, when he uses a special, he taunts and gives defense up out. Okay, so is this guy, but it's for 1 turn. And I'm healing myself and allies. Oh, and also applying regen to self. And if you have any skill military allies out there. Okay, that's pretty sick. Now, the regen's not going to help you in Dark Dimension if you don't bring those specific characters, but whatever. 25% chance to gain an assist from Yella again. So, Yelena. Yelena's and him have some great synergy, obviously. And, you've got those chances to get the assists. So, Ultimate. This is the other one that you've got a potential opportunity to use first turn. 5 out of 5 energy. Transfer 1 positive effects, excluding taunt, from primary target to self and all skill military allies. Attack primary target and adjacent target for 500% damage. It's pretty nice. You want to look at the damage numbers. I don't expect them to be big, but the percent there is really nice. And obviously with the heal self for 20% from his special, heal self based on his max HP, you want red stars on this guy and you want a high HP. And so when we get to the stats, check that out. Let's see, we talked about apply ability block to the primary target. And in that, again, 25% chance to gain an assist from Yolana Belova. So are you going to want to use this first turn, or you're going to want to use the other one first turn? I'm probably looking at the ultimate first turn because the ability block that you might want to put on somebody, we'll see. You can see below this where we're going to really, really get into his kit, but I'm probably going to use the ultimate first turn. Again, it depends on the circumstance. And then the special second turn where you're getting some HP and or taunting, because this passive here on spawn, we've got unless you need taunt for the first turn, then obviously you do special, or I should say second. Yeah, once he gets his turn. Passive on spawn, gain taunt, defense up, and apply speed up to all skill military allies. That's phenomenal. You've got a little mini Drax here, and you're giving defense up and speed up to all skill military allies. So when I was talking about Yolana before, she's going to get speed up immediately on spawn. Okay, so that is phenomenal. This passive here is huge. You love it. It's great. It's going to make her speed basically go before a lot of people in game. When this character drops below 50% health, if taunting, clear taunt and heal for 30% of this character's max health. So again, looking at that special, it's like, all right, well, if I drop below 50%, I'm going to go above that point and get the taunt again. And then once you cycle back around, this goes back, goes up, and you get this wave a little bit with his special and this passive, which again, I think is phenomenal. You also gain 25% block chance plus 5% per skill ally. So you're going to get should be 20% there with the 4. So you get about a 45% block chance, which is awesome. 10% block amount. Not great there, but it's okay. And then you get the 30% max health for himself and all skill military allies. If this character has 3 or more skill military, you gain a 50% focus as well for these skill military allies and for himself and skill military allies. So all of these, any situation where you're going to actually want to apply debuffs, which he's really only got it for the ability block on that ultimate. His special here, it's not, you're not really worried about it. And his basic, again, you're not really seeing much there that you're worried about. If you jump back to the Yolana stuff for a second, you're not looking at transfer. I don't recall. I think transfer happens regardless of focus, but I'm not 100% on that. For her basic, the special, let's see, again, transfer positive, so I don't think so. The disrupted, that obviously matters. The ultimate, clearing deflects, maybe a little bit there, and that's pretty much it. So the focus there, gain for Red Guardian on this part, if he's got the 3 or more skill military allies, is it's pretty selective and maybe plays more into what this team might be, which again I'll shoot in another video. So let's look at what these guys' stats are. All right, for those of you who aren't aware, I've got this giant spreadsheet that I do stat rankings on so that I can see a character, how they rank up compared to everybody else in the game, and exactly where they kind of rank up stat-wise. So in this particular case, with the Envoy videos, it is normally, depending if we know the Stark Tech and all that kind of stuff, sometimes get a little wonky with some interpolation, but I assumed it was 25% Stark Tech, which it typically isn't, so these stats might actually end up being a little lower, but we'll see. So in this, first up, because he's lower, is Red Guardian. He came in ranked at 75th with an average rank of 72.7. That's pretty meh, to be honest with you. I don't love that, but let's see if it matters because of the stats that matter. One was HP, which is, he's got a really nice health pool there. It's 218k, should be ranked around 27th. We talked about the damage. It's pretty low, but again, he had a high percentage there, so it's like, okay. For anybody who's the protector type, you do want their armor pretty high, which it comes in at 26 there. 26th rank at just over 11k, 11,586. Focus, pretty bad, but again, you've got that 50% increase there. So, hopefully that'll be a little bit better where you're going to actually apply everything. But, if you don't have the skill military around, it's like, his focus drops off pretty significantly. His resistance is great, ranked 33rd at around 74.54. His speed is atrocious. Atrocious. But again, you don't really necessarily need that to be high. You get this taunt on spawn, and that also might play into, how you're going to end up using this character for the second turn, because he's going to have a speed up on him, which gives you an effective speed of 126. So you might want to go to that taunt immediately so that he has it that first turn, because he's going to be so slow. And, hopefully, given the resistance, he's not letting anybody strip it real easily. So that's his average stats. So let's scroll up till we find Yolana. All right, so she's quite a bit higher up at 25. You love seeing that. You really want her to be fast, to have damage, to be able to have decent focus, a reasonable health pool, all those kind of things. So Yolana, the health pool is just, it's mediocre. So if you think Electro squishy, so is a Yolana, except she stealths, so that'll be important. She'll only be taking that adjacent type damage, but it's an okay HP pool. Damage is phenomenal. Again, it's very similar to Electro, and you'll see right above this in the next stat as well. So 18.9, just a little bit better than him. Hopefully we'll get some damage boosts from some of her teammates somewhere to help a little bit with that. Armor is just, again, okay, same as Electro in that general range, 88th rank. She comes in at 74.55. The focus, 53rd, not great, but again, with Red Guardian, it goes up significantly, assuming there's 3 other skill military on the board. Resistance, not very great, not loving that, but Speed, fantastic. It's 13th, really good. She's gonna, Carnage goes before, not a lot of other people go before, Hawkeye's before, but again, remember, she's got an effective speed of 186. So, because she gets that speed up on spawn from Red Guardian. If you scroll through here, I'm doing this fast, let's see, not a lot of, 140, yo-yo, it's like no one's up that high. You don't even need to scroll, all right? So, she's going to be going before a lot of characters unless they get the speed up bar, from the Ebony Maws, Nick Fury type, where you get the speed up immediately, right? So she's pretty sick in that regard. I do love it. And then as you keep going over here, it's an average rank of 55.2. So pretty solid stats around. Again, I think, there's nothing that jumps out at me that says, holy cow, this is going to be insane, but they're good. you know, they're solid and they look like they're going to be potentially, if the other components of this team are solid, it could give you some nice war counters or some, you know, maybe these two might have some use in Dark Dimension 3. I don't love it, but I could see where, you know, especially Red Guardian with some of that defense up, you know, healing. But again, he's slow, right? And you need a battery for him. So it's kind of like, well, where's the battery? And that's what Captain America was for. So I'm still more of a fan of the Fates Captain America type. But hey, you know what? We got some new skilletary OG coming to the game. I hope this helped kind of give you an insight into what these characters might be like a little bit. Obviously, when the stats come to the game, we'll do an official character review on them. And once we see everything officially, dive into the T4s a little bit more and all that. But here's your Envoy video. Gives you a little intro. Hoped it gave you something on your day to kind of look forward to coming to the game. I'm personally semi-excited about these guys, mainly because of the potential counters they're going to bring, which I'll shoot in a second. So anyway, appreciate you stopping by. Discord link in the description below. Hammer down the like button, the notification bell, subscription button, all that kind of stuff. Until next time, hope you have a wonderful day.